So basis of payment. The accept quantities determined as provided in the section 514 or the method of measurement shall be paid for at the contract unit prices. So this is the chart of the payment. I payment. So under drain is the nakamillimeter. So unit measurement is the linear meter, as on and so forth. So next is the manhole or inlet and catch basin. Manhole is a small. So first, let's define what is manhole. So manhole is a small coherent opening in a floor, pavement, or the other surface to allow a person to enter. So manhole, it is common to us to see a manhole. Makita na siya always sa mga, siyempre, ay, siyempre sa road. So it used to to allow a person to enter in the sewer. So next is inlets. It's a narrow channel of water that goes from a sea or a lake into the land or between the island. So catch basin is the receptacle located where the street gutters open into the sewer, designed to retain matter that will be not readily passed through the sewer. So this is the example of the catch basin. And this is the example of the manhole. Next is this is the example of the inlets. So that's material. That's infrastructure used to remove water from the road or remove excess water. So next is the material requirements. So concrete for this structure shall meet the requirements of the item 405 structural concrete. Other materials shall meet the following specification. First is the corrugated metal unit. The unit shall be conformed to the plan dimension and the metal to the ASHTO M36. Bituminous coating will be specified shall conform to ASTM D1187 and the asphalt based emulsion for use as a protective coating for the metal. Next, so this is the material needed. So this material, so on and so forth. It's the material. Next is the construction requirement. So metal frame shall be set in a full motor bed. Pipe section shall be flushed on the inside of the structure wall or the projected outside sufficient for the proper connection with next pipe section masonry shall fit neatly and tightly around the pipe. So next is the when grade adjustment or the excess structure is specified, the frame's cover and grating shall be removed and the wall reconstructed as required. The clean frame shall be reset at the required elevation upon the required elevation. So upon the implementation, each structure shall be cleaned of any accumulation of silt, debris, or the foreign matter of the any kind of shall and shall be clear, such as accumulation until the final acceptance of the work. So standard manholes, inlet and catch basin. So we should follow standard dimension, width, length, and pipe diameter, coating for the for the special for the construction of the manhole inlets and catch basin. The number of the concrete cover, base of the material frames and gratings, and piers of the metal frames and cover shall be measured as acceptably completed. So the cover should be fit fitted. So syempre dapat fitted dyan. Kaya di man na siya masyado if dili fit, di ba? Next, the number of existing manhole inlets and catch basin as the directed will measured and acceptably completed. So dire is dili man jud dili man jud always na ay manhole dira na area man butang ang manhole dira na particular area butang ang manhole so dili so there are numbers of existing manhole so we should follow the standard of what what number of manhole should be put in that road. So next is the basis of payment. The accepted quantities determined as the proven section 502.4 method of measurement of the paid items bill quantities should be paid for the construct unit per price. So this is a chart. So if we buy manholes, so each each ang atong bayaran per manhole so on and so forth. So next is the drainage steel grating with the frame. So this shall consist of the furnishing all material, tools, and the equipment including labor required in undertaking the proper application of the steel grating with the frame as shown on the plans and in accordance with the specification. So the specification of classes and uses the road gates and frames. So classes of the gates that commonly used in the drainage work are sump, trench, and box. So there are three types of classes of grates. So first is the sump, second is the trench, and third is the box. So first, let's define what is sump gates. Sump gates shall be used to create trafficable ground level entry area for the surface rainwater to follow the underground storm water drainage system. Some gates shall be used in the paved or the gases area. So, ang pump gates daw is kadalasan siya ginagamit is in the gases area. Next, so this is the sample of the sump gate. So usually we should we see some gates in the in the backyard that is many grasses. So like this. This is the class. This is example of the gates. Like in the dam, kita na siya kadalasan sa dam. Next is the trench gates. Shall be used to collect surface rainwater. Excuse rainwater or from areas that cannot be graded to direct flow into the single pit. Next is the box grate or the road drainage. Shall be used to transfer road surface stormwater into the underground drainage system. So this is the example of the trench grades. So next is this is the example of the box grade. So from the word box, so it is usually box. So strength classification and the loading condition for some trench and box grade. So there are three types, either are classes that we should follow of, in classification of strengths. First is the class A. So test load is 100 kilonewton. So for this class, for the location traffic only by the pedestrian, wheelchair, and the cyclist inaccessible to motor vehicle by the virtue of the barrier, narrow the passengers or strip or unpaved approach. So the class B is test load 800 kilonewton. So for the location normally traffic by the pedestrian, a slow moving passenger car or a light agricultural tractor. So pwede na siya maagyan ng mga heavy transportation like tractors. Next is the class C. So test load is 150 kilonewton. For location traffic by slowing fully trucks such as pedestrian malls and the industrial or commercial area. So the last is the class D. So test load is the 210 kilometers. So for the location traffic by the fast moving fully lead trucks and the forgets the wheels loads to 500 OT. This includes all public roads from the residential to the freeway. So these are the special types of classes. So this is class E, F, or G. So in the class E, test load is 400 kilonewton. So ang class F is the 600 kilonewton. And last is the class G is 900 kilonewton. So in this class, vehicles such as the large forklifts, earth moving or the container handling equipment, and the aircraft typically location include wharves, container storage area, heavy industrial or the construction site, or the domestic or international airport. So in these classes, so heavy equipments should pwede siya maagyan. So all loadings condition is specified above the applicable to the three classes of grades depending on their specific use and location. So the material requirement is this is first is the steel grating. So steel grating shall be made fabrically mild steel. So from the word steel grating, so we should use steel provided with hot dip galvanized in according to the with ASTM A153 and dash 2OM 232 for the suspension of corrosion protection. So next is the steel frame. Next is the drainage gate sides. Next is the joint mortar. So requirements. So metal grating which are dressed on the frame shall be bare on them evenly. They shall be accessible before shipment and so marked that the same pieces may be reasonably in the same position when installed. Next is when gradually adjustment or 16 drainage gates is specified, the frame steel grating shall be removed and the wall shall be reconstructed as required. So the basis of payment. So this is so description, metal frame and grating. So if we buy that, we should buy it with set. not each, not pair, but set. Cleaning and recognition of existing drainage structure. So the material used for repair and replacement under the vision plate item shall conform the requirements of the applicable items of this specification to construction requirements. So first, pipe remove and clean. So it is masabta na siya. So pipe remove and clean. So pipe should be cleaned and removed carefully because pipes is so dali lang siya madaot, mapiko, ano siya. Next is the pipe clean in place. All foreign materials with the barrel shall be removed and disposed of by method which will be prevent damage to the pipe. So in this requirement, so we should clean the pipe area. Yung kung nasaan tayo butang ang pipe. Kay syempre pipe is so easily broke, easily damage. So we should clean the place of the pipe to prevent damage of the pipe. Next is relaying on the stock filling salvage pipe. Relaying of the pipe selected by the engineer to be removed and cleaned shall be done in the shown of the plan. In accordance with the appropriate item of the kind of the pipe involved, the contractor shall be furnished all jointing material and such a replace the pipe broken by him. Next is the recognition drainage structure. Structures as manhole inlets designate on the plan or the directed by the engineer to reconsider shall be all debris removed, leak repaired, missing, or the broken metal replaced, and each structure left in operating condition. So the method of measurement. So measurement will be made by the linear meter of the pipe accessibly clean, removed, relayed, or stockpile as designated in the bill of the quantities, irrespective in the kind of size involved. So second is the pipe removed, cleaned, or relayed with a measured of the final position. Next is the pipe removed, cleaned, and the stockpile will be measured by totally the normal laying length of the all pipes will be removed, cleaned, and placed in the stockpile. Pipe cleaned in the place will be measured along the flow line of the pipeline acceptably clean as directed. Measurement drainage structure recognized will be made by the actual count of the total number of the units of each type assembly complete. Basis of payment. And if we buy removing, cleaning, stacking salvage culvert pipe, so per linear meter, as a son and so forth. So rip and grouted rip wrap. So first, let's define what is rip wrap. Rip wrap, also known as the rip wrap, shot rock armor, or rumble, is a human placed rock on the other material used to armor shorelines, stream bends, bridge embankments, peeling, and the other shoreline structure against score and the water wave or ice erosion. So next is the ground rock riprap. Shall be sand cement ground composed of the part of cement. So the difference of the riprap and the grounded rock riprap is the riprap is no cement needed, only rock pile while while the grounded riprap is needed a cement to to join to join, and it also avoid voids. Next is the material requirements. So materials requirement in the riprap or the grounded riprap is the stone. So there are classes of the stone. So first is class A, stone ranging from a minimum of 150 15 kilogram to a maximum of 25 kilogram. Next is the class B, stone ranging from the 30 kilogram to 70 kilogram. Then class C is the stone ranging to 60 to 100, and at least 50% of the stone weighing more than 80 kilogram. Next is the class D, stone ranging from 100 to 200. So next is the filter materials, the mortars. So we should use mortar because we're filling voids. So mortar is used in the grounded riprap because in the grounded riprap we use cement to fill up those voids, while riprap is a stack of pile of rocks, but there are voids in that kind of structures. So there are so we use mortar in ground riprap. So this is the example of the mortar. This is the construction requirements. First, excavation. So we should excavate to build a foundation or the bed of the riprap. Next is the placing. So we place we place accordingly to the stone. So if dili na to siya matarong og pile, so it can cause collapse, the collapse can cause collapse of the structure. Next is the so unless otherwise, riprap shall be following minimum thickness measured perpendicular to the slope. So there are classes. So first is the class A, so 300 millimeter. So next is the class B is 500 millimeter. Class C 600 millimeter. Class D is 800 millimeter. So next is grounding, whip walls. So example is that. So whip walls. All walls and the upper shall be provided with the whip walls unless otherwise s- shown in the plans or direct by the engineer. The whip walls shall be placed horizontally in the lowest point where free outlets for water can be obtained and shall be placed at not more than 2 meters in the center to center. So whip balls is gonna provided with a filter bags. So method of measurement. So the quantities to be measured of the payment shall be numbered by the cubic meter of the riprap of the grounded riprap, as the case may be, including stone placed in the two trench laid in the position and accepted. Next is the filter layer or the granular material being when required shall be measured separately by the cubic meter the place of accepted. Next is the computation of the quantities. So this is the payment. So if riprap class A, so in cubic meter. So so on and so forth. And, and that's all Thank you for listening, and thank you for listening.